Hello mind explorers and meditation lovers. Welcome to this channel of discovery where science intertwines with meditation. Let's explore and uncover secrets, delve into the wonders that science and meditation have to offer us. Today we are going to talk about a subject so fascinating that in the midst of every research I carried out to bring this content, I was really impacted for several moments. I found myself standing in front of the screen several times, and the only coherent word was, wow. So my only requests are, number 1, subscribe to our channel, so I know that the content is helping you in some way. Number 2, pay close attention to this fascinating subject that will certainly impact you too. In several spiritual traditions, there is a sacred mystery that is linked to the idea of spiritual awakening and enlightenment. We are all divine beings, as it is written in the Holy Bible in Psalms 82 verse 2, "You are gods, and you are all children of the Most High." But such knowledge of this power and divinity that is our birthright has been purposely hidden by the world's elite for thousands of years. With the advancement of technology and the breaking down of physical barriers, this secret has come to light, even if fragmented. Even with the internet, there is not much material on this topic. So, stop everything you are doing, open your mind and pay close attention, as this is information that will truly change your lives. Let's get to the facts. The place where Jesus Christ was crucified is known as Calvary, which in Latin is Calvarii locus, which means place of the skull. There is a part of our brain tissue that is called the tree of life, is a description given to the appearance of the white matter in the cerebellum, a part of the brain. The medullary body of the cerebellum is made of white matter and has a complex branching system and, together with the tree-like leaves of the cerebellum, has been described as the arbor vitae, which is Latin for tree of life. Now it gets more interesting. During the monthly cycle, when lunar energy enhances the energy of the star sign you were born into, the brain releases a mixture of chemicals. This psychedelic concoction is shaped like the Ark of the Covenant and looks like angel wings surrounding it. It increases its vibrational power throughout the process. If it is not wasted sexually, it returns through the colostrum to the pineal gland, enhancing the individual's senses and elevating their consciousness. Then this seed would be saved and would grow, reaching and flooding your body with enlightenment. This sacred secretion is known by several civilizations, and each has its own name. Some call it the oil of Christ, among other names. In ancient times, this fluid was called Christos in Greek. Coincidence? However, for this it is crucial to follow a diet that includes the absence of sex, alcohol, and no type of food of animal origin. These actions can destroy the seed. The ancients believed that when this oil is depleted due to excessive indulgence, it leads to the death of the body. This brain oil is also called manna and heaven. Refers to the elevated area. The head seen as the heavens, the highest region of the body, exactly in the pineal gland. The pineal gland produces a honey-like secretion containing DMT, and the pituitary gland produces a substance similar to milk, a substance that is milk and honey mentioned in several religions. Exodus 33 verse 3, go to a land flowing with milk and honey. Earth flowing with milk and honey is found in the upper part of the body. Learning how to elevate this oil is essential to becoming enlightened and accessing the higher mind. Then, if not wasted, this seed would be saved and would grow, reaching and flooding your body with enlightenment. Considering that with proper practices and meditation, good breathing, good nutrition, and above all peaceful behavior, you are able to reach the apex of this process. This secretion then travels through the spinal cord, which is an extension of the brain, to the sacral plexus. The oil travels up the spinal cord, which is descending into human form, before rising again to the brain to the pineal gland. The spinal column is made up of 33 vertebrae, the same age as Christ. The divine name Elohim appears 33 times in the book of Genesis. 33 is the numerical representation of the Star of David. pineal gland. In several religious traditions, the pineal, also called the third eye, is the place described where enlightenment occurs, where we see God face to face. Genesis 32 verse 30 is a verse from the Bible that says, Jacob called the name of that place Peniel, for he said, I saw God face to face, and my life was spared. The pineal gland is a small gland located in the center of the brain and has more blood flow than any other part of the body. It is connected to the same part of the visual cortex as both physical eyes, giving it the title of the third eye. Matthew 6 verse 22, if your eyes are good, your whole body will be full of light. In Indian spiritual traditions, it is known as Kundalini. In Gnostic Christianity, it is known as rising chrism, referring to the fluid produced by the brain that runs down the spine and then rises to the pineal gland. In yogic culture, it is called by some the spiritual column. There is a map of man's consciousness that explains how to raise consciousness to higher states of enlightenment. The Bible itself is a manual full of these types of clues, written in codes for those willing to take the time to decipher them, yet over 90% of people believe the Bible is a literal book of historical events. However, if you are willing to open your mind to this understanding, you will be fascinated. The cloister. The claustrum is a structure of the brain, defined as a thin layer of bilateral substance that occupies only 0.25% of the cerebral cortex. The term cloister originates from the Latin term claude, which means hidden or closed, which perfectly describes this hidden structure. Anatomically, the claustrum is located on the inner surface of the neocortex, deep to the insula, from which it is separated by the extreme capsule. It is separated from the putamen medially by a thin layer of white substance known as the external capsule. Although the cloister is a small part of the brain, it plays an important role in modulating our subjective experiences, including spiritual experiences. In several spiritual traditions, the cloister is a sacred space that serves as a place of reflection and contemplation. The cloister is seen as a closed place, separated from the outside world. As written in 1 John 2 verse 27, As for you, the anointing you received from him remains within you, and you do not need anyone to teach you. But since his anointing teaches you about all things, and it is true and not false, abide in him as he taught you. In this verse, the Apostle John is talking about the anointing received from God, which enables believers to understand spiritual truth. He emphasizes that this anointing is sufficient to guide them, making instruction from others unnecessary. The central message is to remain faithful to this anointing and the truth it reveals. Colossians 1:17, He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. He not only created all things, but also holds them together and in harmony. This refers to the cell adhesion molecule called lumina, which curiously has a cross shape. What the Bible tells us is that we need to understand God inside and out. This means understanding the physiology of our body and the holy oil. Colossians 1 verse 27, the temple of God is your body rather than a place you visit. 2 Corinthians 13 verse 5, or do you not know yourselves that Jesus Christ is in you? Power, evolution, and enlightenment are within each of us. Ephesians 5 verse 14. Awake, O thou who sleepest. Rise from the dead, and Christ will shine. About you. Thank you for following me this far. If you like this content, subscribe to our channel.